Hi everybody, my name is Stephanie and I'm a librarian for the Schaumburg Library, and today we are going to be making paper dinosaur hats. These are super easy to make and chances are you probably have all the materials that you need, which is just construction paper in your favorite dinosaur color, a glue stick, scissors, and tape. All right, everybody, so on to the first step. We are going to cut 4 strips about 1 inch wide along the long side of our sheet of paper. So 2 of these strips will be for the headbands, and the other 2 will be cross pieces that you can attach your spikes to. So when we trace these lines, you can see that I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here when I make my lines. I'm not too worried that they're exactly 1 inch or that they're straight. You're not going to be able to really see them anyway when we're through with it. So you can definitely use a ruler if you're more comfortable with that. So then when we're done with that step, you should have 4 lines. And then the next step will be to grab your scissors and then you're going to start cutting those out. All right, so you can see that once we are done cutting them out, you are going to have 4 strips that are roughly the same shape. And once we are done with those, you're going to take those and move them out of the way, and then we are going to be ready for step 2. All right, so for step 2, you're going to take your other 2 sheets of paper that you have right here and put them one on top of the other one so that they're overlapping. You are going to draw 5 different strips on this sheet. They're going to be about 2 inches wide, and you are going to want them to draw them on the short side of your paper instead of the long side. So it's going to be just like this. Again, I'm just eyeballing these. I'm not going to measure them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are going to end up being your spike shakes. So then what you're going to do with the piece of paper, one on top of the other, is grab your scissors and just start to cut those out. Okay, now, so after we cut those out, you are going to have 10 strips that look just like this. And then we want to keep those in front of us because then we are going to be ready for step 3. Okay, so for our next step, you are going to pick up each one of these one by one, just like that, and then just fold it in half because this is how we're going to make our spikes. So let's get those folded just like that. So I'll do the first 5 to show you. And then what you want to do is take your pencil because now we're going to draw our spikes. So here's the top closed end and here's the open end. So you want to draw a spike with the spike, the pointed part, hitting this open part. So I'll show you right here. So you're going to do your spike just like that. Can you see that? So it's like a triangle. Then you're going to take your scissors and just cut that out just like that. So when you open it up, you're going to have something that looks like this. So you're going to do that to all 10 strips. All right, so after you're done cutting out all those spikes, you are going to have 10 pieces that look just like this. So then we are going to move on to our next step. Okay, so now for step 4, we're going to come back. Remember these long strips that we had? You are going to take just 2 of the longer strips. So we had 4 total. Right now you're only going to take 2 of them. So put your first one down. I put it down on another sheet of paper because we're going to be using the glue stick here. So just in case you don't want to get glue on your table. So then you're going to take your first spike. And what we're going to want to do is take some glue. Here's our spike. We're going to want to just put some glue right in the middle of that spike, right on the crease. And then just stick it down right there on our strip. So you're going to keep doing that. So there's going to be 5 spikes to each strip. So 10 spikes total. Okay, so you're going to fill up this strip, and then once you have 5 on that one, you're going to take your next strip and fill up 5 spikes on that one. Okay, so then once you are done, this is what your strips are going to look like. So 2 strips, 5 spikes on each strip, and then we will move on to step 5. Okay, so for our next step, you are going to take your last 2 pieces, and this is what is going to be the headband to go around your child's head. So I'm going to secure a little bit right here, and I'm just going to take our piece of tape and secure that. So here is our tape. I'm just going to put it right on it like there. And then we want to kind of measure the head a little bit just to see how much overlap we have. All right, so it's a little bit of overlap. So then I'm going to overlap it like that much to measure their head. I'm going to take my second piece of tape, just take that and secure that. And then we're ready for the next step. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our spikes for the next step. So as you can see, this is how we glued them on. We want to flip it over so that we see the strip over the spikes. So then what we want to do is take each side of the spikes and fold them up together so they make something like that. And you're going to glue them at the top. So I'm going to take my glue on one side of the spike. I'm going to glue it like that. And then I'm going to attach just like that. And then, so there we go. So I'll show you one more. We're going to take another one, glue it on one side just at the tip there. Fold the spike in together and glue it just like that. So you're going to do that with all the rest of the spikes for both of them. Okay, so now once you are done gluing, you're going to have 2 strips of spikes that look just like this. And then we are going to move on to our final step, which is attaching these to the headband. Okay, so for our final step, you are going to take your headpiece, decide which part of the headpiece is the front. So I'm going to use the part that we already taped over. Grab your spikes, and you're going to attach it right there with a piece of tape. So I'm going to take my tape, take that, and just secure it on there just like that. And then I want to flip it and attach it in the back. So you kind of have a curved thing over the top of your headpiece. So I'm going to take my next piece of tape and secure this right to the back there. So that's what it looks like right now. And then I'm going to add my tail. You're going to add your tail right onto the back there with just another piece of tape. So that's kind of what we're left with there. So I'm going to take my last piece of tape and get that on there. And then you have your headband and your tail. All right, guys, you did it. So now you should have a perfectly completed dinosaur hat to wear. Thank you for joining me for today's craft, and I'll see you soon.